What is going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to come back to it. I wanted to pose a question. What do Stacey Plaskett have in common with people like Bill Gates? A connection with Jeffrey Epstein. Guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
Investigative journalist Li Fang wrote yesterday, Epstein sent many rambling emails suggesting projects with Bill Gates. Asked to prep presentations for new Gates-backed foundation, $100 million minimum investment expanding on exchanging prior Gates-related interests like vaccines and maternal care. In one of those emails from February 25th, 2011, Epstein reportedly wrote, Gates guy here today, no reporters, I took care of that, stay calm and focused, we need to speak, I am staying until very late tonight, seeing Gates read donor on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday set aside for 2-3 hours to discuss exactly this.
This comes as more information on Epstein's dealings are coming to light amid J.P. Morgan's fresh accusations over ties to the accused sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, so these are, filings from this J.P. Morgan Virgin Islands lawsuit. So just more and more emails from J.P. Morgan officials, Epstein talking about it, just all the influential, important people with lots of money that Epstein was connecting to government officials at the island, to the bank as well. And his ongoing kind of relationship with Gates, which is, these messages to Gates people are 2011. So that's after he's already a known sex offender. He's been convicted. He got his house arrest or whatever kind of deal he got for sexual misconduct with underage girls. So you can't say, oh, I didn't know. It was known. It was known by then.
You know what, guys? Yeah, we got to understand that Bill Gates knew that Jeffrey Epstein was a sex offender. He knew. I mean, you couldn't help but know. It was known. Everyone knew. So again, when these emails took place, Bill knew.
It's a bit of a lens into what the world is like for bankers in America at the very high level. The emails that Li Fang posted to Twitter, you have one from a Mary Erdoes at jpmorgan.com official email to an unknown person saying, obviously they're at a party. This is, really late at night. The first email is about 8:30. This has turned into a cheesy broker fest. Totally not cool. The only cool people here are at Glenn's table, same as bat mitzvah. So maybe they've known each other for some time. The response is at 1:20 a.m. Epstein there with Miley Cyrus. And so this is like official J.P. Morgan emails where this exchange is happening. Was Epstein actually there with Miley Cyrus? We don't know. But the fact that they made the joke shows that these bankers on their J.P. Morgan emails are comfortable joking about the billionaire being out with young girls.
They were comfortable joking about a lot of really sketchy stuff. We've read these emails in the past talking about who's your favorite, Disney princess. It suggests, a deep familiarity with the kind of bad and illegal stuff that Jeffrey Epstein was interested in and had already been convicted for, would eventually be arrested for again. Yet right up until the very end, I've talked about this several times, but I think it's always worth bringing up, including given her, recent crusade, the higher media profile she has sought for herself as part of the pushback from Democrats on Twitter files and on RFK Jr. Stacey Plaskett, the delegate of the Virgin Islands,
What, guys, we got to understand that Miley Cyrus was 15 at the time that this took place. She was 15. Again, were they at the party together? Was her and Jeffrey Epstein together at the party? I don't know. Again, it definitely appears they were, but we don't know for sure. But the fact is, Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein definitely had a connection, a big connection. And man, Bill Gates, he wants to play it off like they only met a couple times for dinner or something. That is definitely not true. You can look at the emails. That's definitely not true. And, again, it was claimed that he was at the island 37 times. Now, factcheck.org says no. He was not at the island. There's no proof of that. But Melinda Gates, his ex-wife, says the reason why they divorced, one of the big reasons why they divorced, was due to his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. So again, we have truly got to look at things with the emails and everything going on. Yeah, I mean, there was a connection there. There was a big connection between Gates and Epstein.
And I've talked about this several times, but I think it's always worth bringing up, including given her, recent crusade, the higher media profile she has sought for herself as part of the pushback from Democrats on Twitter files and on RFK Jr. Stacey Plaskett, the delegate of the Virgin Islands,
right,
has been front and center at these hearings, accusing, Matt Taibbi of perjury, accusing RFK Jr. of anti-Semitism. Stacey Plaskett, delegate of the Virgin Islands, trying to get Jeffrey Epstein at her fundraisers as recently as 2018, I believe, the year before he was arrested again and then died in allegedly because of suicide in prison. This was someone with full knowledge and awareness of his wrongdoing, was courting his influence, his access to funds and to important wealthy people.
Right. Plaskett, who originally said that she wasn't really aware that he was donating. She was completely unaware of his donations to her campaign, which, then she had to say in deposition last month.
It's just a lie.
Yeah, she was directly introduced.
Yeah, you can see the emails from her team saying, oh, he's going to be there, right? Let's make sure he gets a personal invite.
Not just for the political dealings, but was an attorney at the tax firm that worked with Jeffrey Epstein. So even before she ran for public office, she knew Jeffrey Epstein. But then there's obvious documents where she's asking that he be invited to the events. She was clearly aware, most likely directly had been speaking with Jeffrey Epstein.
And Jeffrey Epstein, had his own agenda for the Virgin Islands. He wanted the sex offender policies of the Virgin Islands changed. Wonder why that could be. He was.
We have got to look at what is happening. Again, we have people like Stacey Plaskett, who is trying to become they have a bigger influence in the established Democratic Party. And she's up there last week trying to get RFK Jr. labeled as a racist and as an anti-Semite. But at the same time, she was down there in the Virgin Islands trying to get Jeffrey Epstein invited to her parties. She wanted to make sure that he was there. And again, she knew full well what he was trying to do. He wanted the laws changed, the sex trafficking laws changed in the Virgin Islands. So again, we have got to look at things. We have got to understand that people like Stacey Plaskett, man, they will do whatever they got to do. They will say whatever they got to say to go forward with their agenda, to bring herself up, to elevate her own status. And that is quite concerning. If you know full well who Jeffrey Epstein is and what he's doing, and you're trying to get him at your parties, at your get-togethers, and that can be proven, and you know full well that he is a sex offender, and you also know that he's trying to get the laws changed, and you want him there. Why? For your personal benefit. And that to me really shows who she is.
About this lawsuit, but because the lawsuit is from Virgin Islands to JP Morgan, but it seems pretty clear that a lot of the government officials of the Virgin Islands were very much complicit in the exact kind of nefarious, we'll find out if it's illegal, who knows, but very icky behavior that they're going after JP Morgan for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein, that they are complicit as well. So whatever they recoup from JP Morgan as a result of this lawsuit, if this is just, going to build like a nicer, governor's mansion or something or whatever it is in the Virgin Islands, that'll be pretty ridiculous because they're all over this too. So it is the victims of Jeffrey Epstein who need to be made whole again, not powerful people who were well aware of this pattern of abuse for 15 years.
Or maybe, do the job of passing some anti-corruption legislation not only was Epstein donating to Plaskett's campaign, there was an email where an aide wrote to Epstein to confirm that a $13,000 corporate donation planned for the Democratic Party, not the Plaskett campaign, would be made, quote, for the benefit of Stacey Plaskett. So this exceeds the amount that you can donate in an election cycle to an individual candidate. And this shows the kind of shady dealing that goes on between very rich donors like Jeffrey Epstein and PACs or political campaigns, right? You're circumventing FEC regulations by saying, I'm giving this money to the Democratic Party because I can give an unlimited amount, but I'm letting you know that this needs to go to the benefit of Stacey Plaskett, which is not a decision the donor can make. That's a decision that the party needs to make of what to do with that money. And so that's a pretty damning facet of this whole expose as well.
You know what, guys, man, we got to be honest. What is going on here with people like Stacey Plaskett and the level of corruption? You know, again, I believe, you know, really, man, the entire Democratic Party is, my belief, man, they're complicit in so much of the stuff. But again, Stacey Plaskett was getting money from Jeffrey Epstein. He was sending her money. Again, he was sending money to the Democrat Party because he can only send so much money to individual candidates. So he was sending more money to the Democrat Party earmarked for her use. And again, we have got to understand, you know, again, this is just pure corruption. Why, number one, why were they taking so much money from people like Jeffrey Epstein? Again, why was she personally taking money from Jeffrey Epstein? Why was she taking funds that she knew was coming from him? And then she lied about it, and then she had to go back and say, yeah, I did know. Again, why? Because, again, people have got to understand this woman is evil. She is an evil person. Again, I'm just going to come right out and say it. She is an evil person because, again, she is taking money or did take money from Jeffrey Epstein. And she knows damn full well what Jeffrey Epstein wants, what he wanted. She knew. And again, man, she also wanted him invited to her parties. Why? You know, again, I believe that we all know the answer. The thing is, man, people like Roland Martin, you know, again, they champion people like Stacey. They do. Why? Because, man, she will call out R.K. Jr. for these trumped up allegations of racial, you know, being racist and, you know, being an anti-Semite and everything else. Man, she will call out, she will do whatever she has to do to elevate herself. Lie. Take money. It doesn't matter. Man, because she wants to become front and center. That's why. But hey, guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
You son of a